Hey guys, welcome back to ArtosisCasts. Hope you're having a wonderful day here today. I have to tell you that I did consider casting some non-Flash games, and I am going to pretty soon, but you know what? This adventure of just like watching Flash try to figure out what's going on and how to alter it to his will is just, I honestly don't think we're ever going to have anything like this happen again. Okay? Like, because, well, the Flash is really the only human that could do something like this. Yeah, he's someone who's altered the meta so many times, and he's by far the best player ever, and he's done his military service. So, like, I kind of view him right now as, like, for instance, how I am in my life right now, right? Like, if you look at the flow of my life, right, I have my kids and my wife, and you know, I've done all sorts of work, and now I'm just like, well, I'm older. I just want to play Brood War, and I honestly don't think I'll ever quit for the rest of my life now. And Flash, I look at, and it's like, well, he's done his military service. It looks like he's gonna, you know, bite the bullet and come back, and so I think that like this type of situation just isn't going to occur again. You know, like I imagine that he's not going to retire after this. You know, like he'll just play. He doesn't have military service. You know, he makes his money off of StarCraft, or he has historically. You know, and so yeah, I think this is literally the only time we're ever going to see this in Brood War. And in fact, I don't know if this will ever happen in another game, because I don't think other games are quite like Brood War in this way. So yeah. I'm going to continue a little bit. Nexus first here, coming out of nOOB. Okay, so nOOB is an ASL player, a strong Protoss for sure. You know, as I've mentioned in some previous casts, this is not nOOB 13. This is the other nOOB. And yeah, Flash right now just kind of scouting around a little bit. It looks like he wants to do a gasless expansion, but as the probe comes up, he does have to start his secondary depot and grab his own gas so it doesn't get stolen. But when he gets over here and sees that it's a Nexus, he'll stop at one Marine. He'll cancel this if he gets there in time to cancel. Because, yeah, obviously with the Nexus first, you don't actually need 2 Marines. He starts a 3rd Marine, watch, he'll cancel that. Unless he's going to try to attack. Which I don't like. Okay, the probe is coming back up. And excuse me. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Anyways, the probe comes out, and he is going to try to put some pressure on here. Now, this is one of my least favorite things that I ever see pros do, okay? This historically isn't a good move. Like, this has a low win rate. We'll see what happens with Flash here. So the Zealot comes up. 2 SCVs trying to push into a bunker here. Now, Flash's SCV micro is really actually second to none, and he is bringing 3 more. One of which is actually pretty heavily damaged. Up come the probes. Oh, man, that was not good. But he actually gets a little bit of a surround with his probes and kills 2 Marines. And, okay, so there's 2 Marines here with the bunker. Gonna add another gate. This actually might end up just working for Flash now. But that was kind of a poor engage, if you ask me, at the start of it, at least. Yeah, I guess the Zealot died very quickly, but did allow the probes to get a bit of a surround. Flash, in the meantime, is expanding behind this. Continuing to put some damage down, some very good micro on those SCVs, as you can see. Trying to get this secondary bunker up. He needs a secondary bunker up for this to actually be very successful. Now, he stops the bunker from getting up. Gonna continue to put some damage onto the bunker. Kills off that SCV. Oh, man, this is starting to look very bad now for nOOB. Flash continues to push in, and yeah, with 4 Marines in that bunker, he is going to kill the Nexus. So, even though nOOB is up in SCVs, or up in probes right now, that's not going to be good enough, I think. Like, he's going to have to go into, like, Robo from here. There's no way to actually break through. So, Flash does make this successful. So, basically, guys, this is not always successful. Normally, if you're going for a gasless expansion and you try to push your opponent, and look, he's trying to get a Robo up over here for an all-in. But if you try to do this to your opponent, if they get a good probe surround and the zealots come out and everything, basically, if they don't lose the Nexus, they're ahead. Okay? This is hard for me to put it into words exactly, but like, I guarantee you, if you go and look at the success rate of this type of build against Nexus first, it is generally not good. They generally get a bit behind. But here, obviously, Flash massively ahead. If this works, if you get the Nexus with this while you're expanding, obviously you're so far ahead, it doesn't even make sense. But there's a reason why, Flash has said in the past that factory expansion is for killing Nexus first. It's because you get the vultures in there as well. You have more damage output. You can get into sometimes a siege tank, get into mines to stop the counterattack. But yeah, this one obviously did work out really, really well. Now, nOOB is going to be able to pop this bunker pretty quickly. Looks like Flash will just load up and buy himself a little bit of time, get home with these SCVs. He did kill off that pylon. And of course, no probe on the map right now. So will nOOB just take a third Nexus? It looks like that's where he's headed, and we don't actually have a robo. So yeah, he's just going to have to double expand and see what he can do from there. But this is like a pretty massive lead for Flash. Flash is up a lot of workers, up 6 workers right now, which is like just not normally something that ever happens in this matchup. Double factory, siege mode is almost done. You can see a lot of Dragoons coming down and hitting this bunker. Flash sieges up, and he can easily block here. 2 Zealots going to try to come up. Flash just has to move his SCVs to the right. Okay, 1 Zealot's going to get on top. But yeah, he's going to be able to kill off basically most of the Dragoons. It looks like 3 of them will technically live. There is 1 Zealot that gets into the main base. You can see, right? Like, if he had not... You try to... I don't know, is this extrapolation? Try to extrapolate if this hadn't killed the Nexus, how completely screwed Flash would be right now. Right? Like, this would be... He would literally be dead right now. But yeah, even here, a Zealot gets in and is helping him a little bit. Doesn't quite get that SCV he was going for. Multiple siege tanks set up. Flash getting into Vulture speed as well as weapons. And yeah, Vulture speed is pretty normal from a situation like this. The way I like to put it is you need to be able to get some scouting. Also, this is going to be very good for rallying up in this push. It looks like he does, in fact, want to push. All the Dragoons did run back home. And really, when you get a lead like that, you do want to pressure. You want to make sure that you're careful not to throw away a big army. And you can see right now, nOOB is adding a lot of gateways. But yeah, Flash's pressure is going to be pretty deadly, pretty hard to deal with. Yeah, these Dragoons coming up, and 4 Dragoons literally just has no chance. This could be 1 siege tank, and you could, with enough Marines and Vultures in there, you could do it. So I think he's just going to kill everything here. nOOB in a little bit of trouble. Yeah, I mean, this is probably just going to be game, honestly. This does not look like this is recoverable for nOOB. Flash laying a few mines down. GG is called. A quick game. Let's go into another. Okay, so we're on Citadel here. nOOB and Flash actually played on the ladder 4 times in a row. So, yeah, here we are. Game number 2 between them. So, obviously, Flash punishing that Nexus first in one of the strongest ways. Again, I don't think it's actually... well, the thing is, even things that are probably low win rate a lot of the time and not necessarily stronger moves, at the end of the day, if they win you the game, I guess there you go. And like, truth be told, there might be just slightly something to it for Flash where he's like, okay, I started my Marine production immediately here, and then he gets down there and it's like 1 gate, so he's like, okay, this is doable. But yeah, I think if you part of it is where he built that bunker as well. The more I think about it, right? If you do a 8 barracks pressure against Zerg, you start the first bunker way out, and that's what causes the problem, right? If you try to start it near, I think that might be the big difference. Is most of the times I've seen pros try that build, they're trying to put the bunker within range of the Nexus, and you simply cannot do that. Whereas he put it in a further back position, so it's hard to pull your probes and actually surround everything. So I do want to throw that out there as I'm like kind of thinking about why it hasn't been successful in the past and why Flash decided to do it and why he smashed with it. So that actually might be the whole trick. But if they stop that, you're dead. So yeah, but I guess if you pull it off, like they're in a terrible spot. You still have to play it out a bit, but yeah. Anyways, here we see an eBay block. Flash getting to scout nOOB first. He was preparing a gasless expand, and in fact, he makes the bunker, but doesn't go for the gas. So he knows that this is like a late gas over here as well. And the eBay gets canceled. He will get his Nexus going, and the speed of these are about the same. So looking at this is like I would call this like a pretty even opener, but there is not a question Terran is happier with this than Protoss, right? A lot of the time in the early game, Protoss can just like get their Nexus up a little bit quicker, or maybe get some decent pressure on that slows Terran down a little bit. Like if you get your command center at about the same time as a Nexus, you're pretty happy already. And if they're not like way ahead on tech, then you're like, all right, this is perfect, right? Because you don't even have to really worry about, you know, having 4 or 5 SCVs repairing this while you wait for siege mode. It's not going to be that bad. So Cybernetics Core on the way. Flash just kind of keeping that SCV alive. Wants to see, you know, does another gate come down? Is he still making Zealots? What is this going to be? Because there are 3 Zealots out right now. Or 2 Zealots out right now with the 3rd one on the way, rather. So Factory on the way here for Flash. Going to go ahead and transfer down a few SCVs. 3 Zealots going to start to go up. Now, 3 Zealots is very common to run by with, but this feels way too late to do that. It would have been a much earlier situation to run by. Second Factory gets started here for Flash. You know, I want to, because this game is really slow, I want to actually talk about something I've really been thinking about. For TVP, because I spend like you know, I spend a ton of time in StarCraft. Obviously, it's like basically my job and my passion. But like, I spend a lot of my free time just kind of thinking about like the theory behind different matchups and what's going on, and like what is everything really about in the game and all that, right? And so like one of the main things about Terran versus Protoss, I feel like Terran versus Protoss is, it's like a puzzle for Terran trying to figure out how to not get behind Protoss in like the early and mid game, right? So you got to open very well, and you've got to make sure, like, if you can get up to, let's say, 55 SCVs and you're not behind, you feel very good as Terran. But a lot of games we see, it's like Protoss is taking their 4th and you're on 48 SCVs and you have 3 facts and you're like, I can't attack. You know, stuff like that happens very, very often. So really, I feel like, you know, if Terran at this stage in StarCraft, if Terran is not like heavily behind at some of these mid-game points, then you're pretty happy as Terran, where it's like, okay, now, because you get into these positions that are nearly unwinnable very often in TVP, but once you get there, suddenly for Protoss, it's like, well, what is Protoss supposed to do now, right? So anyways, I think that that's a big reason why Flash loves gasless expansion so much, is that he can just keep the game a bit closer. Now, that being said, we have a very funny-looking 4 Zealot drop coming out, and he's going to target down 2 SCVs. This is surprisingly good. These Zealots don't scale at all. Now, he only gets 2 SCVs, but there's a world in which he gets 3, and there's a world in which he gets 4. He put a lot of damage out there. So this has actually been pretty good. Now he's going to fly through. There's probably a Goliath. Yeah, Goliath's on the way, so he's going to want to get out of here pretty quickly. Dude, this is actually really damn good. I am so surprised at what he was able to do here. Because those Zealots, again, they just don't really scale. Now, this, he did overstay his welcome because he's going to lose the shuttle. So he slightly overstays his welcome. If that shuttle gets out of there before the turret's done, suddenly this was like such a big brain move. Now, all that being said, before he went in for that drop, he was already up, I think it was 41 to 36 SCVs, so he's already up like 5 workers. So you can kind of see what I'm talking about, right? 48 to 40 workers right now. Third Nexus is on the way. Flash only has 2 factories. Like, it's possible that he might be able to pressure, but realistically, I don't see it. Yeah, 3 tank pressure is really good. He has his vulture speed, he has mines in the way, and then he has these random 2 Goliaths. And you might look at that and say, well, normally these pushes don't have 2 Goliaths. Maybe this is really good. Well, the push is a lot slower because he has the 2 Goliaths, right? Goliaths take only 7 seconds less than a tank. So he could have moved out 25 seconds ago with the same exact push, right? And that's the build time of a Zealot, okay? Or almost the build time of a Dragoon. So, like, yeah, if he hadn't had to make the Goliaths, maybe this would be a very scary push. Now, I don't know how the push will go down, but I don't think he's gonna, like, kill a base, right? Like, I would be very surprised. The Goliaths are actually adding, like, kind of a funny puzzle here. Because it's going to be hard to get the shuttle actually in there. Woo. Okay. Only loses one there. Now, he needs to get some vision in there, which is a little bit tricky. If he can get in there and lay a mine, that would be really, really good. See, he's utilizing scan right now. If he can just kill this pylon, that's huge. You get 1 vulture in here, or send all of them, it's amazing. Now, some vultures trying to get in over there. Dude, Flash can turn anything into damage. It's truly wild. Look at this. I don't even know what to say. Like, this is it's a weird timing. It's a weird push. Now, here come the Dragoons, but he's already killed the Nexus. Like, nOOB has easily enough to clear this at this point, but Flash has killed all those probes. So he was down 8, now he's up 8, and it's 2 base versus 2 base. Just a ridiculous amount of damage dealt. A ridiculous amount of damage. Now, where is nOOB at? He's in a bad spot. He doesn't even have Dragoon range yet. He has a couple speed shuttles. He does have some Reavers in there. Okay. But looking at Flash's base, dude, he's already got 2-1 on the way. He has 2-1 on the way right now. He's playing like 4 factory upgrade Terran. Now, this is interesting as well, isn't it? Well, it was a gasless expand, so his economy in general is going to be a little bit higher, so you can definitely afford more factories. That's a more reasonably timed command center, if you've been paying attention to the FlashCasts. Now, hold on. We have the Reaver plus Zealot drops coming in, and he actually blows up those 2 tanks. Going to get a very good Scarab here. Yeah, excellent Scarab right there. And in fact, might be able to kill off that turret and fly out with this shuttle. That would be kind of nice. Just barely does not end up getting it. So that one probably stuck and going to die. In the meantime, a counter drop trying to come in from Flash, but the photon cannon has been started. 3 Dragoons waiting for it, so he is going to back out. But you know what I wanted to talk about there is that drop so rudely came in. Was if you've been watching, Flash has been doing the command center at like 7 minutes or so behind 2 factories to 3 factories. Here you can see he's like, this is a much slower command center, right? This was started after 9 minutes. And we've already had like a lot of scuffling going on. It's kind of a weird position. Definitely feels like a position where you can make a command center, and he does have that command center almost done. nOOB has double expanded here. 2 more Nexuses coming. This one, of course, very close. This is going to be hard to hold on to, especially considering Flash already has 2-1 on the way. This is a very fast 2-1 for the current metagame. But Flash is in this position where it, like, you know, all these Flash games are really fresh in my mind, and I think they might be in yours as well. But if you think back some, like, the problem with his upgrade Terran so far has been good players coming in and reducing siege gen counts and slowing down the command center land. Now, that's a much more, this is much closer to the command center land time that we normally have right now with 5 factory expansion plays, okay? But what does Flash have here? He has 4 factory plus upgrades going. So this is in between standard upgrade Terran and the 5 factory play that we normally have, okay? It's somewhere in between there. And again, it was like a weird opener, so this isn't like a build order you can copy or anything. This is like a one-off game. Right? This wasn't super standard as far as the early game went and what Flash was able to get done. But that is, I think, the very interesting thing that we're looking at is just how this is somewhere in between. Now, Flash is setting up like a ridiculously strong siege position. This is going to be incredibly hard to break, and he should float this down to spot. But this is pretty fantastic. This is like the amount of pressure this puts on. Noob has to be worrisome of a push coming down through here to kill this Nexus. So like he might threaten counterattacks by coming up here, but Flash's rally, well, it's right here right now. But yeah, anywhere in this area, he can reinforce there or there instantly. And that's like a strong way to play Citadel, right? Is you rally into this general area so that there's, no problem with sending your reinforcements. Now, the fourth command center comes down. He's only on 5 factories. And he's going to have a 4th base up and mining at like 1320. That's crazy. That's super, super fast. This is such an interesting game to me, guys. So it was like he had 4 factory upgrade Terran going. He has 3-2 on the way, by the way, already. And he takes his 3rd base. Holy shit. And now he takes the 4th this quickly. Oh my god. Noob is gonna die, guys. Okay, like he was already in bad shape when he lost this Nexus. Everything else was like totally fine until he lost this Nexus. But now you look at the position Flash is getting. I'm getting chills right now just looking at this and thinking about this. The fact that he went from 4 factory upgrades to getting this landed, and then like immediately starts a 4th command center and only adds 1 factory during this time and just hunkers everything down heavily. Like, you can't do much to him here. Okay, a couple speed shuttles going around. Okay. Maybe he can dive in and like pick off something important. Like an armory would be good. Some depots, just kind of slow him down a little bit. Leads with that oh man, loses both of those right away, but leads with the Zealot shuttle. Yeah, everything getting cleared super, super fast. No mines in the main base, so maybe not the worst idea because of that. And Noob is kind of spread out here, but like, and yeah, he's up like 30 supply and he has more workers, but it's 4 base versus 4 base, and Flash is going to be 3-2. If it wasn't for him getting Psystorm, I would say like just attack move is at 30, at 3-2 upgrades, and Flash might actually still be able to do that. His army is just going to be so strong. Noob sitting here on +1. He is going to have 1-1 as 3-2 finishes, so that's good at least. But yeah, sitting there very, very strongly. Yeah, right now he's just trying to clear the fringe mines, right? Like, sometimes if people don't clear the fringe mines, they just lose everything as they come in. Now he's going to try to attack. This isn't going to work. Flash is going to smash this. He's on 2-2. His +3 is almost ready. Yeah, this is like 1-0 Protoss trying to get in here. He's going to lose everything. He is giga wrecked at this point. What an interesting game. Like, the fact that Flash got this 4th base up like that. Noob is, like, he's getting a Nexus here and a Nexus here, but his army size is so small. Honestly, I think Flash just on sieges and attack moves. I don't think you can possibly lose from here. Look at that depot wall, too. Damn. He's not even planning on attacking through there. It's just, this is all defense. And let's go through the middle. Just slow things down. This is smart, right? Because this is like 2,500 health of pure depots that you have to kind of fight through. Few mines in there, so it's hard to like really run by. Scans under his vessel because most things are automatic in StarCraft. Noob trying to hold here. Actually does some pretty good Zealot bombs. Ooh, a great defense matrix out in the front right there. GG is called. Okay, so I want to just jump back just for a moment for myself here so I don't have to reload this replay after I am done this cast. So bear with me. Right, so we had that opening with the eBay block and everything. He went into the 2 factory. This is pretty standard. 2 factory, goes Armory and Academy, so it's like upgrade Terran. Gets both his add-ons right away. Okay, that sacrifices 4 workers. So when I was talking about before this drop, right, I said it was 41 to 36. Maybe it was... No, I already heard an SCV die, so it was 41-36. But it would have been 41-40. But he decided to go comsats. Okay, that's like a big decision, actually, in the early game. So yeah, he gets a few workers, loses that shuttle. So let's see. I want to see just what he's thinking about timing-wise here. All right, so he's like scouting with the vultures. He sees that there's a third. He's getting his mines. Unloads with that push. That's going to kill the base. So look, okay. So yeah, this is just slightly slow compared to this. You want to start the starport when +1 is halfway done. Looks like this started when it was like just slightly over halfway, but that's fine. Adds a third factory. So this looks like standard upgrade Terran right now. Okay. And there's the 4th factory, right? So something kind of in betweenish. Second armory, science facility. He's killing that base. And yeah, he starts this right around 950. Whereas in the previous games, guys, we have seen him starting at 7 to 8 minutes. So he's starting it quite a bit later. He's getting his upgrades. Gets the dropship. The dropship didn't really do anything this game, but it's an interesting add in there. If you look at the price of the add-on plus the dropship, like he could have gotten a 5th factory, but instead wanted to try to harass a little bit. Very interesting. Very interesting. Looking forward to seeing some more Flash TVPs and seeing if he continues down this type of line. Again, kind of a one-off game. Okay, I'm starting to ramble a little bit, but I wanted to look at that. Guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. See you next time.